Mexico have done their job. 2 games, 2 wins, 0 goals conceded. And with victories over South Africa and South Korea, Mexico are officially the winners of Group A. That means they'll try are through to the round of 32 as a group winner, and on paper, that sounds like the perfect position. But here's the twist. Winning Group A does not give Mexico a fixed opponent yet. Instead, Mexico will face one of the best third-place teams from 5 possible groups: Group C, Group E, Group F, Group H, or Group I. And depending on how those groups finish, Mexico's opponent could be very manageable, or it could become a nightmare. Let's break down every possible draw. First, Group C. Right now, this is probably the most important group for Mexico fans to watch. Brazil and Morocco both sit at the top with 4 points, while Scotland are in third with 3 points. Haiti are bottom with 0. That makes Scotland the cleanest and most realistic Mexico opponent right now. Why? Because Brazil and Morocco have already created separation. Brazil beat Haiti 3-0 after drawing Morocco. Morocco followed their opening draw by beating Scotland. So unless something dramatic happens on the final day, Brazil and Morocco are in position to finish first and second, leaving Scotland in third. And Scotland on 3 points with an even goal difference would have a realistic chance of being one of the best third-place teams. For Mexico, Scotland would be a physical, uncomfortable opponent. They are not flashy, but they are organized, direct, and difficult to break down. This is the type of match where Mexico would probably dominate the ball, but still have to be careful on set pieces, crosses, and second balls. But there's also a nightmare version of Group C. If Scotland beat Brazil and Morocco handle Haiti, Brazil could fall into third place. That would be the draw Mexico absolutely does not want. Mexico versus Scotland, manageable. Mexico versus Brazil, completely different conversation. That is why Group C matters so much. Now Group E. This group looked like it could create chaos, but Germany's latest win over Ivory Coast changed the picture. Germany now have 6 points and a massive goal difference, so they are much less likely to be the dangerous third-place team. That is important for Mexico because a few days ago, Germany finishing third was still one of the scariest possibilities. Now the more realistic third-place candidates are Ivory Coast, Ecuador, or Curaçao. Germany are probably moving toward a top 2 finish. Ivory Coast have 3 points. Ecuador and Curaçao are still trying to get themselves into the race. For Mexico, this group could produce a tricky opponent, but probably not the worst-case scenario anymore. Ivory Coast would be dangerous because of their pace, athleticism, and 1v1 power. They can make the game chaotic, and that can be uncomfortable for Mexico if the midfield loses control. Ecuador would also be difficult because South American teams usually bring intensity, defensive discipline, and physical duels. Even if Ecuador are currently behind, they are not a team Mexico would want to overlook. Curaçao would be the best-case draw from this group, but they would likely need results to even get into the third-place qualification picture. So Group E has gone from possible disaster to still dangerous but more manageable. Now Group F. This one is very interesting. The Netherlands are currently top after crushing Sweden 5-1. Sweden are still alive, Japan are sitting in the middle of the group picture, and Tunisia are trying to recover after a rough start. For Mexico, Group F is scary because the third-place team could still be a quality side. Japan are one of the most dangerous possible third-place opponents. They drew the Netherlands 2-2 in their opener, which tells you they can compete with elite teams. They are technical, fast, disciplined, and very good in transition. That would be a very uncomfortable matchup for Mexico. Sweden are also dangerous even after being destroyed by the Netherlands. Their goal difference took a major hit, but they still have 3 points. If they finish third and sneak through, they bring size, set pieces, and direct attacking. Tunisia are currently the least favorable statistically, but if they beat Japan or pull off a result against the Netherlands, they could force themselves back into the conversation. That means the table could shift fast. For Mexico, the best draw from Group F would probably be Tunisia. The dangerous draws would be Japan or Sweden. And the absolute chaos draw would be the Netherlands somehow dropping to third, although right now that looks unlikely because of their points and goal difference. Now Group H. This might be the most wide-open group in the entire tournament. Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde all started with 1 point. Spain drew Cape Verde, Uruguay drew Saudi Arabia. That means nobody has taken control yet. And because everybody is level, this group could send almost anyone into third place. For Mexico, this is where the draw could swing massively. If Mexico get Cape Verde or Saudi Arabia, that feels like a favorable round of 32 matchup. Not easy because no team at this stage is easy, but favorable. If Mexico get Uruguay, that becomes a war. Uruguay are physical, aggressive, experienced, and built for knockout football. And if Mexico gets Spain, that becomes a blockbuster. Spain as a third-place team would be terrifying because their opening draw does not change the quality of their squad. They can control possession, suffocate teams with the ball, and force Mexico into long defensive stretches. That is what makes Group H so dangerous. The table says everyone is equal, but the names in the group are not equal. Mexico could draw a team they are expected to beat, or they could get Spain or Uruguay way earlier than anyone expected. Finally, Group I. Group I has Norway and France on 3 points, with Senegal and Iraq at 0. On paper, Senegal and Iraq are the likely third-place candidates. Iraq would probably be one of Mexico's better draws. They lost heavily to Norway, and they still have France and Senegal on the schedule. If they finish third with 3 points, their goal difference could be a problem. Senegal are a different story. Yes, Senegal lost to France. Yes, they are currently behind, but Senegal are still a dangerous team. They have pace, strength, individual quality, and tournament experience. If they recover and finish third, they could be one of the strongest third-place teams in the bracket. The real nightmare from Group I would be France or Norway falling into third. France finishing third would require a bad run, but it is still mathematically possible, and nobody wants to see France as a third-place opponent. Norway would also be a dangerous draw because of their attacking power and directness. But based on the current table, Mexico are much more likely to see Senegal or Iraq than France or Norway. So where does that leave Mexico? The best case draw is probably Iraq, Curaçao, Cape Verde, or maybe Scotland. The realistic draw right now looks like Scotland, Japan, Ecuador, or Senegal. The danger draw is Sweden, Ivory Coast, Uruguay, or Senegal. And the nightmare draw is Brazil, Spain, France, Germany, or the Netherlands. That is the strange part about this new World Cup format. Mexico did everything right. They won the group, they protected their goal, they put themselves in the best possible position. But because third-place teams come from multiple groups, Mexico still have to wait. They could get a team they should beat, or they could get a giant that slipped. And that is why Mexico's round of 32 opponent might be one of the biggest storylines of the knockout stage.